Support Pro Play Games on Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Yadam here with Team PPG, and I'm back at it with a BT8 deck profile for a deck that not many of us like, not many of us enjoy, but it definitely is powerful. It exists, and we have to learn to coexist with it because it's going to be there no matter what. Now, this is Yellow Hybrid. This is a yellow-red splash. Obviously, if you guys are aware of the current Digimon meta, it's made a lot of strides in the Japanese format as it just is taking names left and right. The addition of the Jijimon egg has made the deck increase in consistency when you couple it with Guillemons, and it definitely extends the game very well. It deals with Digimon very efficiently, and we all know Jet Sophimon's just absurd. So with that being said, let's get right to the deck profile. We have for our eggs 4. We do not need more. We just want 4 GGs. Now, Jijimon is awesome. He's a great addition because he has one specific tech, and that card says, ignore everything, draw a card when you swing with Jijimon, one of the Gis, which is awesome. What does Yellow Hybrid lack? It's a lot of it lacks card draw. It doesn't lack removal. So this card consistently lets you get to your pieces. It obviously buffs up your Eden's Javelin, like in a weird way. And to make sure that you always have an option, a removal, or an aggressive play to continue the game as the game progresses. Very strong card. The promo Guillemon, this guy's been shooting up left and right because he just draws you a card. And at the end of the day, he is a promo, so it was very hard to get. You normally evolve this on top of the GG. Look how cute this card is, my goodness. And you just draw 2 cards. That combo is fantastic. It adds a lot of consistency to the deck. But at the same time, you are removing the Rapidmon package for this. So is R2 draws better than a 2-card board wipe removal combo weird thing? It depends. Early game, the Jijimons definitely extend you a lot quicker as Rapidmon gets better as the game progresses. So it completely depends on what you think is a little bit more value. But again, this is a yellow-red deck so that we can play strong and powerful options such as Crimson Blaze and Gaia Force. But we'll get to that when we get there. So I play 4 of the promo Guillemons, and then I play the starter deck Guillemon. Now this guy is a little weird, right? He only comes up in very niche matchups, and that matchup is Mastamon, and that matchup is Mirror Match. So what this card is meant to do in the deck, it allows you to warp into the OG Gallantmon. Now this deck being a yellow deck, playing these TK Karis, playing the reinforced memory boost, you want to set up a turn where you can play this Gallantmon and hold turn. This guy, and let's read him because it's been a while. We may have forgotten that this guy exists. He says, when Digivolving, if you have a red Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6 DP or less. Awesome. We don't have red Tamers. Who cares? When attacking, trash one of your opponent's security card for every 10 cards in their trash. Now, again, this is a yellow deck. What does the yellow deck do? It takes you to the long game. And this card, obviously, we play cards like Avenged Kidmon because we want that long game. We're just going to go ahead and this card's going to come in, trash 3 security cards, get another hit. This is a 4-checker in 1 Digimon, all for the cost of 4 Digivolve. In terms of this deck, that is as efficient as it gets. It's almost 1 memory for 1 damage, which when you put into the context, you evolve into this, you 4-check them, hybrid free game. It's kind of what you want to do. It's kind of how you want to set the deck up. And the fact that you trash security bypasses a lot of the mechanics of the Mirror Match. Very powerful card. Obviously, Crimson Mode kind of does something very similar to this, and he's amazing. So if we can just make him with a 6k body, with a level 6 body, then he's very good. Now, what does the fact that this Guillemon do is that he allows us to warp straight into him if my opponent has a level 6 or higher on the board. Now, Mastamon can't really function without a level 6. The Mirror Match, if you hit a defeat, will just have a level 6 or higher on the board at most points in time. Defeat is a card that's very hard to out. So it's there are scenarios, especially against Imperio and a bunch of other decks, that they will just have a level 6 out on the board, and this card allows you to warp straight into that Gallantmon, go straight into a level 6, hit them for a bunch of damage, and potentially close out the game. If you want to play higher counts of him, he's excellent. Let's not forget that you have a bunch of other Gallants to choose from now. The Gallant that allows you to explode bigger things based off DP off the new EX2 set is really cool. He has security +1. The problem with that card is the fact that we don't really play a lot of DP destruction effects. We play a lot of destroy a Digimon effect because we've lost a lot of a bunch of weird stuff has happened to the format, and I'll explain it as the rest of the video goes, and the reason why we play Gaia Force as opposed to as many of the Wyvern's Breaths. So with that being said, very, very powerful card, small rookie count. We have the hybrid package, nothing that I need to say about it. 444, absolutely crazy cards. You just want to max out on all the hybrids because of the fact that Susano allows you to blow up in the trash, allows you to extend the game. They're two memory for 1 damage. Very, very efficient, level 4. Zephyr into Zoe is still an unbelievable combo. You never want to whiff off these Zoe, so you always want to max out on this little package right here. Sometimes you can like maybe do some cuts here if you want to go and do some things that are weird with the deck that allows you to do and add more cards to it, be more security control. Like, I mean, if you wanted to, you can go like this, you know, and you can do a lot of really crazy things with Yellow Hybrid because the package isn't necessarily tied to these 16 cards. It's more along the lines of anywhere between 13 to 16, so you have a little wiggle room if you so choose to do it. I just opt out for the most consistent amount of cards as possible, so I just max them on. TK being a 3 of, this card is awesome. He lets you check your security, fixes your security, he allows you to know this isn't security, I can play around this card, right? So if you're playing against Red Hybrid, you see a Susano in security, what do? You keep the Susano in security so that they slam into it and you can set up a Zoe turn for it. TK gives you so much invaluable information, such a good card. That's why I put him up at 3. He doesn't really do much else after that, and Kari becomes better in the long run. But the fact that I want that information as much as possible, and I don't want to like whiff on an early TK because I want him early, I want to see what I'm working with, and then I want to go. You can argue that Zoe kind of does that for you, and because of that, you can run like a 2-2 split as Kari gets you more value over the course of the game. But again, I like the 3-1 split of the TK and Kari. It's something I've been doing in Yellow Hybrid for a long time. It's something I've been doing in Mastermon for a while as well. I guarantee my memory tamers, and obviously I have something that extends me further as the game goes on, and TK sets me up early. TK Kari. Card's cracked. I play it, my opponent gets really scared, they don't want to hit me, they cry about it. It also does 1k DP reduction, so all these rookies that people play out once I have 2 TK and Karis get deleted basically by TK and Kari by herself. Gives me so much memory as the game progresses. This card is insane. Evolving on top of a TK card feels absolutely horrendous unless you're going to start closing out the game. Let's remember, guys, playing Yellow Hybrid, you're healing. So if at one point you're putting your opponent to 2, and if you know at the start of your turn, I'm going to put my opponent to 2, I'm going to heal myself to like 4 or 5, there's no feasible way that this card's going to get value for the rest of the game. It's very reasonable, and if you're not deleting anything, so just evolve on top of it, get the damage in. At the end of the day, you need the Tamers, so don't be afraid of evolving over it. But I will say there also are scenarios where evolving over it feels terrible. And you know what feels really good? When your opponent first checks you and it's TK Kari, and for the rest of the game, they're very, very sad. So obviously I like this card. Again, you can play with these counts as much as you want. There's a lot that you can do with this deck. So it's completely up to you guys. This is just a ratio that I've been enjoying and I've been working with. I got 3 Ophanimons. The reason that I don't play another top end is because I think Ophani's excellent. Ophani has an on deletion effect. You can also argue, and I'm going to honorably mention my boy Seraphimon here. This is a card that I'm just going to go ahead and place down here, and we'll talk about him and the fact that he can coexist with Ophani. So Ophani, at the end of the day, heals 1 on play. I mean, on Digivolve, and at the same time, on deletion, summons back something that they have to deal with, or if not, take another damage. So it heals you, it does damage, you're never afraid to trade into this, and it's also a stepping stone for our boy here, Zwart Defeat. Super, super strong. The only other level 6 that I would argue is up to par with Ophani is Seraphi, as Seraphi's on deletion is heal 1, and heal 1, again, broken. The issue is Seraphi doesn't allow you to go into defeat. It's completely up to you and your deck building choices. If you chose another level 7 to play, if you chose other cards to play, then Seraphi might be even more valuable than the Ophani. But I chose to keep board presence over the recovery one. So because of that, this card was insanely good when it came out, but the moment that Ophani came out, it almost like got deleted from the game. And we all forgot that he exists, but he is an insanely powerful card. And there we go, he's gone. Avenged Kidmon. Now, I have been liking a 1 of this card unironically in my decks lately because the games go on so long that this guy almost always comes down for free. My spells are crazy, so if I recycle my spells and then I go ahead and play some Jet Sophies after and recover after recycling the spells, it's insane. And the fact that Avenged Kidmon makes the 3 Musketeer matchup easier, and he also deletes an 8k DP or less. Now, you know what this guy's whole text is? Beat Musketeers if you draw him, and also kill a Pale Dramon. That's really freaking good. while recycling my Gaia Forces, recycling my Crimson Blazes, my Edens. This guy does a lot. He's unironically gone from a meme card in my book to a very, very powerful card very, very quickly. I have summoned him a couple of times, and every time I've summoned him and deleted something, the game has been won. I have yet to play this card into a 3 Musketeer player, but I feel like they wouldn't enjoy that. Funnily enough, again, if you play around with these ratios, start cutting these guys out, you can up him and just remove like this little package here, go for more security control, and your deck will never deck out. You have insane options. Scary, scary stuff, guys. You can do some really weird stuff with this deck. Our next card of choice is our Sword Defeat. Makes our security a little bit stronger. As it is, our security has 4. It has 7. It has 10. It has 12. It has 14 cards that you never ever want to hit because, oh my god, those are strong. Once again, you can up the values of certain cards to fit your playstyle, to see what you want to do, but very, very powerful. This deck has a great backbone, and then whatever you want to do with it, I'm sure it'll work out. It's just, I don't know. I feel like I'm emphasizing this more and more in this video, but there's a billion different changes you can make. By a billion, I mean very few, but there's a bunch of changes you can make that can make the deck very, very different and work in a specific way that you like. And it can also fit the card pool that you have, which is something we tend not to talk about when we're making decks. But obviously, everyone's deck pool is limited to a certain number of cards. We might not have access to certain cards, and that's where this sort of, give and take comes in, where you can be like, oh, maybe I don't have the 3 Gaia Forces, so I can cut this down. I'll play more Wyverns and things like that. And then for our spells, very, very simple. 4 AoEs, 3 big tower killers, 3 tower killers, 2 tower killers. So the reason I'm talking about these big tower killers, and then obviously the reinforcement rules, that card's at 1 for a reason, but I'm just going to skip over that. Card's broken. Doesn't need more introduction to that. The reason Gaia Force has come back, and has come back with a vengeance, is the fact that Mother D Reaper is a deck, and Gaia Force says delete one of your opponent's Digimon. Deleting Digimon and not specifying like a level in terms of their deletion is very, very powerful. You want to have these big number deleters because Mother cards that you kind of want to delete are 10k aboves and things like that, but you just kind of want answers to Reaper. That's where Wyvern's Breath has lost its value, because as Reaper kind of turbos your security, Reaper is bigger than 15. Because of these searcher inheritables that just exist, Reaper is most likely going to be hitting you, unless it's the first check, 16 and above. So we need a card that says delete anything. This card has no restriction on what it's trying to take down. Super duper powerful. A card that almost never saw play after its initial set. Making a return is super duper cool, and it seems to be terrorizing the game even up to BT10. So Gaia Force is something that I think is super cool that it's come back, and I'm excited to see where this deck goes from the future. As always, guys, make sure to comment, like the video, subscribe, thumbs up, put the notification bell, all that good YouTube mumbo jumbo, and most importantly, interact with us. So let us know what you think about certain cards in this deck, about what you want to see in the upcoming deck profiles, and how you feel about the BT8 format in general. With that, guys, make sure to follow us on Twitch, as we will be starting our locals streams once again. The BT9 content is coming, and it's coming fast, and as the ever coming One Piece game is on the horizon, we'll be coming out with some content for that, so make sure to keep tuned with our little video series, guys. And as always, stay topping.